Hello, my name is the Wild Guardian, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about having skin in the game. Skin in the game. You've probably heard that before. It often comes up in business circles, investing rings, and all the other stuff. And I'm not talking about it from that angle. I want to talk about the game itself. What game are you playing? It's a very different game if you're playing checkers than if you're playing chess. The rules are different. You're going to have different strategies and tactics, and you're probably going to come up against different players if you're playing one game over the other. Are you conscious of the game? The fact that we're always playing games, and that you can, if you want, change the game you're playing at any time. Having skin in the game to me is about finding something that you want to say yes to. This is not about competing with others and the games that they're playing. It's about designing your own. There's a type of progress that we get to have when we focus on leveling up within our own games and developing our resilience to get to our next level. These levels that we go through, they're self-defined and self-motivated because we actually care about the game. This is about understanding how you design your reality so that you're the protagonist of your story. And all the best stories have one obstacle after another that is not just any old obstacle. It's the exact thing that's going to demand the protagonist to evolve, to level up to their next level. I invite each of us to embrace that learning and growing and the cycles of learning and growing have an edge of frustration to them. And if you can get used to this feeling and not taking it out on others, you build a resilience to this kind of frustration and recognize the ways that you get in your own way to keep yourself small. It could be a very different world that we live in. People could be connecting with each other based on the shared elements of their respective games. So that I'm playing my role as the Wild Guardian here on this channel, but I also could be playing different roles in other people's games, and one does not detract from the other. They all become richer from my willing participation, from me saying yes and committing fully to the role that I'm playing in that game. Let's use an example for a moment. We've all been at some point in our lives in a team project. And I'm not going to point any fingers, but we all know what it feels like to be stuck with that person on the team who doesn't really want to be there. They don't care about the game. They're just there because they have to be for some reason. And it's just no fun playing with them. It would be better for everyone if they just didn't participate, if they found another game that they actually want to do. And it's no judgment on their skills. It's just they don't want to do it. So I really want to focus here on the idea that when every single person allows themselves to care about the game that they're playing, and they're willingly going through life knowing that they get to choose what that is, we can still come together in teams and collaborate and do all kinds of magical things together. But it has to come back to the individual first. Because if you're not in it, if you don't 100% want to be doing this, you're not going to be doing what it takes to actually continue to make this a more enriching experience. That means being your own coach and encouraging yourself to overcome the specific things that are challenging for you so that you can go from where you are now to where you want to go. And when you think about leveling up in this way, it's not about a competition. It's not about being the best or perfect or anything like that. It's about knowing, what am I actually trying to do here? And what do I need to do today to make sure that that happens? The goal is to get good at this, to get good at overcoming whatever we personally have as obstacles. For me, language is not a strength. When I was in grade 2, I was told by my teachers that I was likely to fail the grade if I didn't learn how to read. At this point, the other kids were already reading, and I didn't really appreciate that this was something everyone else was doing and that I wasn't doing it. This is when I discovered that I had what they like to call a learning disability, but what I like to call a superpower. My brain works differently than other people's. It's just how it is. It's not better, it's not worse, it's different. However, I was very fortunate to have someone who taught me my personal wax on, wax off routine that set my life on a direction that gave me the audacity to believe that I could overcome anything that I really wanted to. And I really didn't want to fail grade 2. So I did my exercises, which really just involved moving my arms in concentric circles, making figure eights, holding out my thumb at arm's length and drawing figure eights with both hands, going in both directions. It wasn't fancy or complicated. It was something my little 7-year-old brain could wrap her head around. But I learned how to read. My eyes strengthened enough that with the help of my finger following along under the words, I was able to do the job. Am I the best reader out there? No, I'm not entering in reading competitions, but I can do it. You're both the protagonist and the game master. You design the game and then you go and play it. So having skin in the game is getting very clear on what game is actually worth playing so that you're going to want to overcome all these obstacles. Because it's easy to say no. We're constantly saying no. No to this, no to that. This is not my problem and I'm not going to help. We went over that not too long ago. No, this is the opposite. This is the one thing that you say yes to. And it's not always straightforward to know what that is. Because if it's really important to you, you might have said no so long ago that that's become part of your story. You might have been so shit scared to acknowledge to yourself how important this was that you put it over there on a shelf and you made it damn near impossible to convince yourself that you would ever be ready to take it off. Well, today I'm going to tell you about my personal story, the game that I've been actually wanting to play, and that I've been revving up for in episode 1 with the permission to play, and episode 2, really cultivating that rosy feeling inside. And this time round, I'm actually just going to call it like it is. I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified to claim my space in the digital world. A long time ago, when I was still in high school, I invited some friends over to play. And I hadn't gotten the memo yet that it wasn't cool anymore to play the way that I like to play. I was continuing on exactly as I always had. And in the beginning, I didn't actually know there was anything wrong on that little play date of ours. Everyone was doing what they always did. Until at some point they looked at me and they're like, you know what, wild child, like, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone that we're doing this. And I was like, wait, what? I mean, if you're not having fun, we can stop. Like, this isn't me forcing you to do nothing. And they're like, no, it's not that. It's just, it's like, it's not cool to play like this anymore. It's not, we're in high school now, And that's when I started to keep a lot of this shit to myself. And that's just one instance, but it happened over and over again over the years. And by the time the internet really became what it is now, I had developed such a phobia of the rest of the world that this is really my first social media account. Okay? I'm not online. In fact, I'm not even talking to most people who used to know me. I don't even know how many people are still left on this planet who would even recognize this voice. That's how far I was trying to disappear. And yet everything I want to do is just like, why would I give it up when I'm having this much fun? And it's just a story. It's just one big story I've been telling myself, and getting deeper and deeper and deeper into it, and getting better and better at all of the incremental pieces that I needed to get good at, so that today, I've got this glorious bead wall that I've made in preparation to distinguish this space, what I'm now calling my recording studio, which is really just a section of my room I cornered off. Got my broom that I made out of lemongrass and the stick of a dead avocado tree, and all this other amazing stuff that I just have been keeping to myself out of this terror of acknowledging how weird I am. But I made a broom out of lemongrass and an avocado tree. I mean, who does that? But also, who cares? You know what I mean? Be this kind of game master in whatever game it is that you actually want to be playing. And any of those voices really far back in some treasure trove chest in the attic at your grandma's house because no one else has got space to store these documents no more. It's time to let all that go. It's time to let all that go. It's time that we all start being the version of ourselves that we would have liked to grow into if we could have had the choice. It's not always easy to learn a new skill or to do so in public. You're like, Wild Guardian, come on. Maybe I'm going to do my weird shit, but I'm just going to do it in my room. That's enough. And it's not enough. Because that's what I've been doing. And on some level, some part of me was still feeling ashamed for enjoying these things. I spent decades hiding. And I came up with newer and better ways of denying myself from participating with other people. I convinced myself that it was good enough that I was creating things for myself. I convinced myself that it was enough to be making my paintings and putting them up on my walls, writing my words and putting them in my journals, filling up my computer with who knows how many documents. But here's the thing. Having skin in the game is being okay with whatever might happen on the other side of you sharing it. Because the first part is having personal milestones so that you can look back and see where you've come from. And until you've actually challenged yourself to share something with other people, you haven't needed to do something that actually made sense. You know, if you just keep on practicing all the time, but you never actually go up on stage, or you never actually go and play the game with other people, you don't know. You just don't know. And I get it. It's scary getting feedback from other people. You don't want to fall flat on your face. You don't want to hear that you suck. But the thing is, there's very different kinds of feedback. And you got to be willing to get the bad in order to have the opportunity to connect with other potential collaborators. I like to call the negative feedback the peanut gallery. Those are the folks who spend their entire life not participating. And all they do is throw insults and bad jokes at the rest of us who try new things. Let them be miserable and whatever else they are. Because honestly, they don't have skin in the game. If they did, I don't think they would be behaving like this. Because the moment you have skin in the game, the moment you actually challenge yourself to acquire a skill and overcome all of the frustrations involved with learning and growing and sharing in public, you appreciate how hard that is. And you applaud anyone who tries. And you want them to keep on trying because you know that's what's best for everyone. We're all better off for having people having skin in the game. Another reason why sharing is very important, particularly today, is we're living in a post-AI world. It is our humanness. It is our learning and our journey through how we go from topic to topic, from one community to another, that makes us human. So it would have always been beneficial to share, but it's particularly important today because that's how you show your humanity in a digital world that is going crazy. And I'd really like to see more people embrace this forever amateur way of living, because it really is so much more satisfying to allow yourself to start over, to allow yourself to begin again. Because even if you have all this experience with something like painting, it's a very different thing to be painting and then attempting to animate it. That's what I'm doing. I'm in the process of figuring out how to animate my watercolor paintings. And how I go about doing that is very unique to me and my journey and my interests and the subjects that I'll be presenting, that even if another person has the exact same idea, it's not going to be the same. And we can swap notes, we can exchange ideas, but so many things can happen, but they only happen on the other side of having skin in the game. So if you want to be your own game master, it doesn't have to be this huge elaborate game. It just requires you to have a perspective so that you can start filtering out the information that's coming at you from all angles so that you know what to focus on. It's an overwhelming thing to participate today online on any site. There's just way too much information going on. So if you've chosen a lane, if you've chosen an angle, you now have a reference point of where you are now and where you're going to, so that you can start to cultivate an angle, a perspective, playlists of your flavor of that game you're playing, so that you can start to connect with other people who want to either engage with your content or maybe, do something on a more community level basis. I mean, really at that point, the sky's the limit of where you can go with this when you're ready to connect with people like that. We all have a lot more to share when we realize that we can be this fabulously weird and collaborate in ways that just wasn't possible before. And I think that's the thing about the digital world, is there's so much information that if you don't have skin in the game, if you haven't claimed a space as yours online, it's hard to discern what of this is for you. Because a lot of people are, screaming at the top of their digital lungs to get your attention. And I really feel that our discernment is important so that future generations can inherit a new way of connecting with each other that isn't just about whether something is cool or commercially viable. I think all of these different niches of interest and all the different ways that people want to actually show up get to have a space online. Because it's been millennia that we've had the written word, but a relatively short amount of time, a hiccup in the grand scheme of things, that we've had the average person having access to tools and resources where they can share their way of life, their ideas, with not just people alive today, but everyone moving forward, children yet to be born. So when you think about your skin in the game and the place that you could be occupying in the digital world, it's so much more than just your tiny little self in the day-to-day of what you're doing. It's all of the different ways that people could be connecting with each other in the future that we don't even know about yet. Now, another thing I want to talk about when it comes to having skin in the game is having skin in the digital game. It could be so much more than it currently is. I feel we've lost our way a little bit when it comes to the internet. It became something overly commercialized and taken over by people who don't necessarily value connecting with other people, or who aren't motivated by sharing ideas and connecting ideas and learning and growing. And so the way I see the digital world evolving is some of us will take all of these things that are precious to us, all of these little valuable tidbits that we've kept locked away in our treasure box, and we'll share them in whatever part of the digital world we like to hang out on. And over time, connections will start to be made from one person to another, from community to community, from idea to idea. And we together will shape the future of what the digital world will become. We're so overwhelmed by all of the misinformation, all of the craziness, and all of the negativity that it can feel like we are just one small node in a very, very, very large grid. And at the same time, that one node that is saying something true, that is saying something meaningful and personal and filled with love. And if that person connects to another person in the digital world, we've just created an eternal link that we never had before. This time, especially with some of the technologies that are becoming more and more understood and are being developed into different platforms and networks and protocols, there will be ways where it will be impossible to remove information once it's been connected like this. And so catastrophes like the fire of Alexandria won't be able to happen again. We won't be able to lose languages, lose cultures, lose ideas. We can use all of the weird things that we've been doing in our little caves and our alcoves and start to connect the dots between all of the things that we find interesting and lovely, and start to create a parallel system where, sure, they can be making their noise over there and selling their AI slop and whatever else they're doing. The peanut gallery can laugh at all of us, but quietly, we can build a whole new way of interacting with each other. That's what I see happening once more and more of us have the audacity of having skin in the game. But before I end, I do want to ask you, what game would you enjoy playing every day?